All right. From one list we're to our list. People can pick us apart. I hope there's some podcast duo out there that wants to just start picking apart the things that we put together.
Please.
This is a list from Guy. Our list guy is back at it with another rendition of Guy's Guys. This is his top 10 shooters list. We're going to have another Guy's list coming Thursday for today's episode. He did his top 10 shooters in the country. You and I had a lot of back and forth on this one, more involvement than we had last week. I think we had some tweaks to make to this to get this in a spot where we felt pretty good about it. But end of the day, Guy did get final sign off on a couple things, and ultimately this is his list. So let's just read through Guy's top 10 shooters in the country. Also, I don't think I'm going to leave this on the graphic when we actually put it out later this afternoon, but the little subheader line in this graphic says, this was made in direct response to Andrew Katz. I love Guy. I can't get over that enough. Guy's pushing the boundaries of things we probably shouldn't do here. It's pretty incredible. Here's Guy's list. The best shooter in the country is Nigel Pack. Number 2 is Max Abmas. 3 is Cam Spencer. 4, Hunter Couture. 5, Tyson Walker. 6, Stephen Ashworth. 7, Keisei Tominaga. 8, Damari Monsanto. 9, Aiden Mahaney. 10, Peyton Sanford. And then we have Wojcik from North Carolina, Dingle from St. John's, and Moffitt from Colgate in the honorable mention category. You got Nigel Pack put at 1 on this list. You and I disagreed on this very harshly. Why did you want Nigel Pack at 1?
Because I was looking at Nigel Pack's numbers, and maybe it's because Abmas was in a different situation than Oral Roberts. And, you could probably look at things such as shot quality and quality of threes. I'm sure Abmas was taking some probably harder shots than Nigel Pack was. Maybe not that much harder, because if anyone watched Nigel Pack at Kansas State, he did tend to take some tough ones, but I just found it hard to leave out a guy who's averaging 7 attempts a game and is shooting 42%. And he's been consistent at that too. Like since his freshman year at Kansas State, he's been a high volume, high percentage, like 3-point shooter. I think for his career, he's averaging around 7 attempts a game and shooting like 42% from 3. And I think there's a world also this year where he's going to be an absolute monster of a shooter. Like I'm excited to see this Miami team. We talked about it, being excited to see this Miami team. Maybe being Miami Guys also has been floated around a little bit. But I think I just gave the nod to Nigel Pack just because of percentages. I think it was just a little bit better than Abmas.
Okay. Yeah, a lot of this is just like personal conjecture with me on this list, but all these guys are obviously great shooters, except for maybe Peyton Sanford. I'd like to talk about that before we wrap this segment.
We mentioned this in discussion. There might have to be a closer look put at this, because maybe it's because we've seen this guy go nuclear and have his NBA jam moment against Michigan and Michigan State. The numbers aren't as pretty as one might think. He doesn't have elite shooter numbers.
Peyton's like a 60% shooter against Michigan and Michigan State. He's like a 40% shooter against the rest of the Big Ten. He's like a 20% shooter in non-conference play. Like genuinely, if you look at last year, he didn't make a shot until December. I think he was shooting like 17% from 3 up until December. And then he shot 39% in conference play. That's better, but that leaves him at 34% on the season. Not a guy you would pencil in off numbers. Like if we were just doing blind box score resumes, Peyton Sanford wouldn't be on this list. I'm okay with including him just because 1, we're Big Ten guys, and 2, I think he's going to have a better year this year. But part of him having a better year is he's going to be asked to do more with the ball in his hands. And I think if he was a 34% shooter from 3 in just a catch and shoot sniper, like 4th option role last year, I worry that his efficiency dips even more as a first option. So we'll have to see, but he was really good in conference play. Back to the Pack thing, though. I had Abmas at 1. I was okay with putting Pack at 2. And I know there's no way to quantify this whatsoever, but the way I played this in my head genuinely is like, if there was 3 seconds on the clock and it was a kick out to a wide open shooter from NBA range, who do you want to be the guy that's catching the ball? Truly. Like, your season's on the line. Your season ends if you miss. You win a national championship if he makes. There's no way I'm picking Nigel Pack over Max Abmas. I've seen Nigel Pack be too streaky. I know the numbers in total in some are awesome, but like I think we've seen Nigel Pack just kind of not shy from the moment, but have total clunker games, and then have games where he's 9 for 9 from three. Max Abmas is more consistent to me. We got to see how that translates to the Big 12 play, but to me, it's a no-brainer. That kid's clutch. He's the number one guy in the country I would want to be a catch and shoot guy.
See, in that situation, I want Hunter Couture.
Do you? Yeah, talk me through your Couture.
Hunter Couture is a big game player. He's a big game guy, and his numbers match up. He's got a burner, and the streets will never forget that ACC championship game when he had Duke in the gulag, and he was just. I mean, that's a big game player.
Is Hunter Couture playing still? Are we positive? Are we positive of that?
I am positive Hunter Couture is playing this season, and also Hunter Couture got engaged this summer. So I don't that moves him up my list. This kid's ready for life and hoop. That's it.
I mean, honestly, you could make an argument that that's going to drop him 10 points the other direction, but I don't know. Tyson Walker's 5th on this list. When we originally were throwing out names for this, I expected him to land at 2 or 3. I'm kind of surprised he dipped to 5. Do you feel okay with your guy, Tyson Walker, at 5?
Looking at it right now, hindsight 2020, I don't think I should have let this slide. I think Cam Spencer and Tyson Walker should be flipped.
Cam's numbers were pretty crazy at Rutgers, though.
They are
like ridiculously efficient.
If I had to pick a player off this list just for fun, who takes a dip this season in 3-point percentage, I think it'd be Cam Spencer.
I could see that for sure. I think it's a tougher job at UConn. That makes no sense because it should have been a tougher job at Rutgers based on who was around him. But I think there's going to be more pressure on him at UConn. Like, you can't run from all eyes on you when you're playing next to Donovan Clingan, you know?
I also really want to see what Cam Spencer looks like in the season when actual games start, because I don't think UConn's social media team did this dude any favors.
No.
Like in any video they pull him off, it looks like he's fresh off the frat couch.
Yeah. I am excited. Dan Hurley ran some really, really great actions for his shooters last year, though. I'm pretty excited to see, like, again, no offense to Peichel. We're Rutgers guys. Peichel, not the flashiest offensive set guy. Dan Hurley, very much that. That's exciting to me. We had to camp for a couple names. The original list that Guy gave us looked a lot different than this. I think he had 5 of these guys originally on the list. We had to push for Stephen Ashworth being added. We had to push for Damari Monsanto being added. I pushed extremely hard for Baylor Shireman being added. And quite frankly, I still don't know why Baylor Shireman's not on this list. In fact, before we put the graphic out, I might flip Peyton Sanford and Baylor Shireman if I'm allowed to. Do you agree with me? Shouldn't we have 2 Creighton guys on this list?
I do think so, because to your point, Baylor Shireman is a guy who I want to kick out or go get a bucket or go score at the last point of the game. I want to give it to Baylor Shireman. Baylor Shireman's had his moment. Baylor Shireman made someone fall when he was at Dakota State or was it North Dakota or South Dakota he was at?
He was at South Dakota State.
South Dakota, Jackrabbits, yeah. And he literally had the ball at the end of the game and made some dude fall and banged a tray. Like, he has that type of shooting ability in game, and he shoots it from extremely deep, and he can get hot too. So I would honestly, I don't even want you to make a note. I want you to actually do it. Can you push Hireman in for Sanford?
Yeah, we're officially doing that. Sorry, Guy. We love you, Guy.
Sorry.
You're our guy. Take this as a punishment for the YouTube thumbnail that you sent us that would have gotten us canceled.
That'll never see the light of day.
Yeah, we can't talk again. Love Guy. This guy is, I mean, his brain is all I've ever wanted to be added to Sleepers. We needed this. Stop it. Don't do that. He's got an incredible mind. That's what I'm saying. Okay. But yeah, a little punishment. Cause I think there's a 20% chance that Guy is just Rob Doster catfishing us and trying to get us canceled. I really think there's a good possibility that's happening here. And, Guy, love you, but yeah, don't. No assault rifles on the YouTube thumbnails, man. Baylor Shire.
Our one rule is no weaponry.
This makes me feel better about being a Creighton podcast this year, though. And I know I've said it. I'm skeptical of Ashworth. That's my one question for Creighton. The more you dive into Ashworth's numbers, and I even looked up some tape after this, he's incredible as a shooter, man.
He is. And, we talked about those 5 teams on the Discord that were putting a hundo on. I don't know if I can go through those 5 teams and not have one of those 100 put on Creighton.
Yeah, 100%. All right. Okay, great list. Thank you to Guy. Appreciate you. I know we're giving you some flack here. Guy, in 1 week of helping out sleepers and putting a little work in for us, you got us over 100,000 engagements on Twitter last week. That's a true number. So you're crushing it, my friend. I'm looking forward to more stuff you can do for us now leading into the season. It's incredible. And thank you for
I already can't wait for Thursday's list.
Yeah, it's incredible. And by the way, if you ever get to a point, we have confirmed Guy doesn't have a Twitter or anything of his own, but if you ever do, like, Guy, happy to help you promote yourself a little bit. But that's for another day. For now, you're just the Sleepers guy, and we absolutely love it. It's incredible.